Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to end a video, and this is a paid request for Kyle. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, whether it be a topic, reaction, commentary, review, re-review, thought streams, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in info box. I'll get to them as soon as I possibly can. Could be pretty much any type of video. But Kyle wanted me to look into Coach Carter, the 2005 film starring Samuel L. Jackson and directed by Thomas Carter, which he did save The Last Dance, but he did a film that I quite enjoyed called Metro, which I do think is one of Eddie Murphy's more underrated movies, underrated films. I think it's a very solid action picture from the late 90s. Came out sadly in January, so maybe that's why it didn't do well, but that's the one where Eddie Murphy's a hostage negotiator. And Michael Wincott is the villain. Very fun movie. But anyway, he directed this. Now, it says based on a true story, but I don't know how much of it is true and how much of it is bullshit. It takes place in Richmond, California, and there's this school basketball team called the Oilers, and they're not having a good season. And the kids there are just horsing around, doing whatever, not listening to the coach, fighting with each other. You have this character named Cruz. You have Channing Tatum, which this might have been his first film, or at least it was one of his first films. Fairly young Channing Tatum. You have this one guy who got this girl pregnant, and she's like, oh, we gotta do this and this for the baby. You tell he's not really gun-ho about it. He's not really gun-ho about having a kid. So you got him, you got Channing Tatum. Cruz, he's a guy that one of his cousins is a gang member, and from time to time he'll go over there to do gang activities, which does catch up to someone later on. Anyway, the coach there is retiring as the basketball coach. So Sam, he's thinking about whether to take the job or not, because he used to go to the school. But ultimately he does. And it's a little bit of pretty much any type of basketball movie you've seen, whether it be, I mean, there's a ton of them. I mean, from comedies like Eddie to, I know Ben Affleck did one the way back. There's Glory Road. There's We Are Marshall. Well, that's football. Never mind. But there's plenty of these movies where a guy comes in to be a coach, but then they try to do something a little bit different. Like We Are Marshall is based on a tragedy where so much of the team was gone. And again, that's football. I don't know why I keep going to that one. Glory Road, I think, was about the first all-black basketball team. So you have to find some kind of hook to make it differentiate from the rest. Because you didn't fall into the cliches where the students, they're not going to do well, but then they're going to go through personal trials and tribulations until they do well. They're going to go through tension, there's going to be problems in their home life, and there's going to be arguments with the coach, and the coach don't want them to train more or do punishments like push-ups or whatever. And then they're going to learn to respect each other. Then they're going to learn to do better and do better they do better in the games. They start winning games. So it's hard not to fall into the tropes, into the cliches of any sports drama. I'd rather be football, like Remember the Titans with Denzel Washington, or various other stuff. The way I look at it is you take a little bit of a basketball, sports movie, and then you throw in a little bit of Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman. Does that remind me a bit of someone who had different take on education, wanting respect, for people to treat each other with respect, to use certain vernaculars, use certain words and not use other words, to be on time, to really hone in on the education. And Lean on Me was the film I kept thinking of while watching this. So like Lean on Me in a sports movie put together. Because in this, Sam goes, listen, you don't sign this contract. You need to maintain a 2.3 GPA, which is like a C plus, and wear a tie on each game day and sit at the front of the class, and you need to be in every class. And also you need to say sir, because I respect you, you respect me. Don't say the N-word. If you screw up at times, you need to do like 500 push-ups or multiple, they call them suicides, where you go across the court, go all the way across, touch, back and forth. And then the rest of the film, which is a pretty lengthy film, it's over 2 hours long, is the up and down hurdles these characters go through. And at the end of the day, I didn't mind it. I mean, I'm a sucker for basketball. I love the sport of basketball. I just never get to watch it anymore. Just don't have the time. But I love the sport. I think it's a very fast-paced, action-packed sport. I think when the games happen, they're shot well enough that I understand what's going on. I understand the geography. Sam Jackson, I think, he's a very solid actor. And no, he does not say motherfucker in this, so he's a bit more toned down in this compared to other roles. And he does a good job where he doesn't take rough. He pushes one earlier into the wall. It says, I'm not a teacher, I'm a coach. Oh, you say stupid stuff, win stupid prizes. You win the prize of 500 push-ups. And just sort of like I said, the up and down trials going on. With Sam Jackson himself, his kid wants to transfer to the school because he wants to have his dad as a coach. Because his dad was coaching him previously. So he transfers in and takes a little bit of him to become friends with the other guys. Like I said, there's a guy, Cruz, who he leaves the team like 2 times. And the first time he comes back, he's got to do like 1,000 of each one. Second, he leaves, and then when he comes back, because something much more dire happens. There's some good basketball shots. The principal, some of the others don't really approve of his methods. This stuff you've seen in a lot of stuff before. The higher-ups not approving, the parents of the kids not approving of the teacher or the coach's methods, and there's a bit of conflict. There's a point later on where, hey, you guys are broken the contract, you guys are failing, so I'm going to close the gym. We're not going to have the game today, and I'm going to lock the gym. We're going to stay. You guys need to do better before I open up the gym again. And the parents don't like that, and the teachers don't like that, even though and Sam makes a good point. He's like, you care more about winning basketball games than whether these kids get a good education and go to college. They start, before they start winning games, they even win this tournament. They have a party. Sam interrupts the party. Again, you guys are failing. And he tossed down to them. Well, he tossed them and says, listen, the stats say 80% are more likely to go to prison than college. And those are some stats for your ass. I did like that line. There's media attention coverage over the lockdown. It's just one of those things where when you see enough of these movies, it's hard to not feel a sense of familiarness because it goes through stuff that you've seen a lot of other movies do. And it just has to hit the right note for you to really, truly enjoy it. Now, again, because I like the game of basketball, because I think Sam gives a good performance, I think the other kids do fine. I mean, like Channing Tatum, you don't get to know a whole lot about his character. Again, the one guy is just that he doesn't want to be a father, and there's friction between him and his girl because of that. Sometimes you see the kids outside dealing with Cruz, who's with a gang. But at the same time, there's nothing being done that I thought was too egregious or too annoying or too terrible, if that makes sense. Yeah, some of it is a bit predictable. Spoiler, the second time after Cruz leaves, you know something's going to happen because he's part of a gang. It's like, okay, either he dies or someone he knows dies. In this case, someone he knows dies. His cousin. It's a decent scene. He goes up to the coach. He's like, "Oh, coach, please, I'll do anything you want, please." He's got blood over him. And Sam hugs him and says, "Hey, come on inside, okay? Just, no problem, come in inside." So I thought that was a nice moment. Sam doesn't lecture him. Sam doesn't give him the third degree. Sam goes, "Well, you have to owe me this." It's like, no, he sees with common sense there's blood on this guy, so yeah, bring him in and let's not worry about that. I did like the moment where pretty much they force him to lift the lockdown, and then Sam goes, "Well, then I'm going to quit." And the principal tries to talk to him. He's like, "No, your staff made the choice. They care more about basketball games than getting a college education," which, I mean, he's got a point. But then he sees his players in the gym, and I like the line. Well, they say, I mean, they lift the lockdown doesn't mean we're going to play. And then one of them goes, "We got shit to do, sir. So leave us be, coach. We got shit to do, sir." I like that delivery. I thought that was pretty funny. Spoilers, you find out that the girl, like him and the girl and the guy are getting close together, but you realize that the girl has aborted the baby. Not great. They don't go into a cheer, yay. It's more of, the guy says, "Well, are you sure you didn't have to do that?" And I mean, I don't know if there's supposed to be a message in that, like, hey, if you have to, abort it. Or I don't know. I mean, that's a whole other thing that I don't want to get into. But I mean, it sometimes that happens, so it just plays to the reality of the situation. To be fair, I also do appreciate the fact that at the end of the movie they play the big game and they don't win it. They do their best. They had a comeback, but they don't quite win. And then Sam goes, "I'm proud of you guys because I came here to teach boys, but you became men. And for that, I thank you." Because it goes back into the message. It wasn't about winning games. It was about teaching them to be men. And now they're doing better at school. And then you see in text that a lot of them went to get a college education. And that was the whole point of it all. It wasn't about winning the big game. So I do like that difference from the typical cliche, the typical route that these movies usually go to. And Sam, it was like see him play a little bit of. I mean, I almost want to say a little bit more of a low key character. He has a couple moments he raises his voice. One bit where he's driving with his son, and it's during the lockdown, and a parent drives by. "Are you that coach?" and spits on the window, and Sam like ready to beat him up, and the son has to hold him back. It's like, "This town, like," it's like, "Yeah, I did it." His frustration of, "I'm trying to do what's best for your kids, and you treat me like shit. What the fuck?" He doesn't say all that, but you get the idea, and you can understand his frustration. But I thought he played the character fairly well. I don't know how this did at the box office. Let me check real quick. I would say if you like sports dramas, if I don't know, it's based on Kim Carter made headlines in 1999 for suspending his undefeated high school basketball team due to poor academic results. I actually kind of want to look into the real Kim Carter and what all that happened with that. So it came out January of 2005. It cost $30 million. And it made... I want to double check. How much did it make? I'm just curious. Sorry, I should have done this before. But I can't help it. When I did on these directions, made $67 million in the U.S. Total was $76 million worldwide. So $30 million budget, $67 million gross. I would say that's a hit. I keep forgetting, yeah, this was produced by MTV Films. 64% Rotten Tomatoes, even though it's based on a true story, it's pretty formulated stuff, but it's effective and energetic thanks to a strong central performance. Performance from Sam Jackson. I agree with that. I mean, it is pretty formulaic. It is. But, yeah, I still thought it was a pretty decent movie. I did not mind this film. Like I said, it didn't... I mean, even though it's a lengthy movie, it went at a decent enough pace. The cast, you got Robert Ri'chard as Sam Jackson's son in the movie. Rick Gonzalez, he played Cruz, the guy that was in the gang. And I know Rick Gonzalez, I've seen him in other stuff. He was in War of the Worlds 2005. He was in 2006 film Pulse. So I might recognize him from that. And he's been a lot of TV work. He was Wild Dog in Arrow. I didn't watch Arrow, so there you go. Ashanti was in the film. I forgot about it. Yeah, it's Kira. Try that. Did Thomas Carter direct anything else? Yeah, he did Hitched in 2005. Gifted Hands, the Ben Carson story with Cuba Gooding Jr. And When the Game Stands Tall, which is another sports drama. With Jim Caviezel. Got nominated for some awards, BET Awards, Black Movie Awards, Black Reel Awards. Sam Jackson won Outstanding Actor for the NAACP Image Awards. Ashanti was the girl that was pregnant and later got the abortion. And the real Tim Carter, I just wanted to see what happened to him. He continues to coach sports teams except basketball. He coached the slam ball team Rumble, led to the first cup victory in 2001-2002. Tells about what happened in 2005, but doesn't say what happened afterward. I guess he only keeps himself and all that. Still around, 66 years old, so there you go. But I definitely know this film does have a following. There's a lot of people that do like the movie. And I can see why. Again, it's nothing completely new or original, but it's effective in what it accomplishes. There's memorable moments. There's this bit where one of the kids quit and the mom goes by as, hey, listen, I did. She's like, no, I did it. Like she's trying to explain, and then she says this stuff, and Sam Jackson goes, well, that's nice for you to say, but I'd like to hear from your son. And then she goes, oh, he's in the car. And then walks out, get your ass out, here. And then he apologizes, and then she's like, what do you do with quitting basketball, okay? And you don't even tell me what's wrong with you. Like I said, I don't know if it needed to be over 2 hours long. And not all of the relationships I was interested in. Like, to be honest, I didn't care about the guy and his girl that got pregnant. Like, I don't care about either of you. Nothing against the actors, but I just didn't care about what was going on with that. Like, have the baby, don't have the baby, poop it out, shit it out. I don't know. I don't care. And the crew stuff, like, you kind of figure where that was going. So it was a bit predictable. It wasn't really a big surprise. Anything that, with this type of movie and someone's part of a gang, you have a good feeling as to what's going to happen. But as is, if you like sports dramas, if you like basketball, if you like Sam Jackson, if you want to see an early role from Channing Tatum, it does have feel-good moments. It does have inspirational moments. And yeah, it's a decent enough feel-good movie that's definitely worth a watch if you're into this kind of stuff. So, overall, I did like the film. I thought it was pretty decent. Can be interesting enough that I wasn't too bored or anything. And I thought the actors did their jobs well. I didn't really have any problems with the actors involved. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.